Fellas, okay. So as I was saying, Lou, you've got quite a few people talking.
Hey.
You got quite a few people talking. Your emergence has been incredible. How quickly you've emerged, what you're doing. You took the all-time squat world record, 490.5 kilos. You posted up in your last meet. Got everybody's attention. 1136 kilo total, which is incredible. Jesus Olivares, for a long time, felt like he was uncontested in the 120 plus. Only twice in his entire career has he posted a total heavier than your 1136. Only twice in his entire career, and that's only your third meet. You're just getting started. You've been powerlifting. We're going to get into all this. You've been powerlifting for 2 years, and you're already knocking on his door. And Jesus has won 5 world titles, and Ray Williams has the record of 5 world titles. So Jesus has tied him for the 120 pluses in terms of dominant reigns with 5. And everybody was thinking, well, number 6, it seems almost already written that this man is going to break Ray Williams' 5 world records. And then you emerge. And then you raise your hand and say, hey, fellas, let me join the party. And now everybody's rethinking, oh, my God, somebody might have emerged that could stop Jesus from winning 6 world titles, and God knows what else. So we'll talk about the meet you just had. We'll talk about Rising Tide, your next meet that's going to be later this month. We'll talk about the future, the inevitable clash with Jesus, all your future goals and where this might lead to. And we'll also talk about your backstory, because for a lot of people, they're like, where did this guy come from? What is his story? So we have a lot to unpack here, and I'm glad we got Greeno, your coach, on here to help tell the story as well. I'm glad we got you fellas on here because a lot of people are super duper interested, and I got a feeling after Rising Tide, people are going to double back onto this podcast. So first things first, my man. Talking about the 490.5, the squat world record, and the comp that you just had that threw everybody, you hopped on everybody's radar. Leading into this, was this what you were going for? Is that squat world record?
Yeah. Like, I mean, honestly, we were prepping for like a 495 squat. And the only reason why we didn't take 495 was because I missed the second on depth. So he took the softer end, like, let's just chip it. Let's just hit the squat world record. Cause that's what we went for. Like, I mean, all prep, like dating back to last September, I was telling friends at the gym, I said, in a year from now, I will be the squat world record. Like, that's something that I like, something that I enjoy. I've been enjoying squat my whole life. I played football. So like squat was one of those things that kind of made you feel like a man, so it's like that all prep. It was like, we're going for that. We're gunning for that. And there was a time in prep, Greeno will talk about it probably, like where we was doing chains, and he told me to do like 100 pounds of chains. And I thought I put 100 pounds of chains on there. So I had like 950 on the bar. And I was like, man, this feels heavy. And then next thing you know, we got like a little scale, and he checked the scale, and it was like 90 pounds of chain on each side.
Damn.
So I did like 1110 on the squat without even knowing. So like the plan was to squat the world record. Like the whole time was to squat the world record. And now it's 500. Like that's the goal. Like that's the goal, 500. So
he had 50 kilos worth of chain on the bar. And it was only supposed to like him to like get to his like second attempt weight, because we were just kind of in this overload phase. And I was like, bud, that looked really hard. And I use accommodating resistance a lot for a lot of my clients. And I look at that and I'm like, that doesn't look like 40 kilos at all. And I'm like, you understand, you just like squatted 505, right? Like, you squatted 1,100 pounds, dude. Like, there's nothing on that bar that you're ever going to see at the meet.
Well, so first off, even hearing chains, we don't hear this very often, using chains.
Yeah.
For squats. I can't remember the last time.
And specialty bars. What if I told you that I very rarely put him under a power bar?
100% it's not something we hear very often at all. I can't remember the last time I seen somebody using chains and various different bars. Like, Yeah. Is this for Lou, or is this for a majority of your clients, or?
So it's a combination of both. What's crazy is I'm not known in this space at all. I blend a lot of different methodologies, but I have probably maybe Tom Lilly, but like I have more 1,000 kilo totals under my belt than probably every coach currently. And it's like I like 30% of the top squats all time raw are my clients or my ex clients, right? Who have been there. It's like, so it's just a strategy, like putting someone under 450 plus kilos exacts a toll. Like it's not something me and Devonte just break off, right?
Yeah.
There's gotta be risk reward. So using accommodating resistance, namely chain, like it allows him to feel the weight and feel the gravity of what we're doing. Because what's funny about Devonte is he always misses the first thing first weight he's never touched before.
Oh yeah.
I posted it, and you were talking about. I was like, this is how you spot, and he got buried under 480,
475, I think.
475, and he sat down and he's like, nope, not happening, and it's because he lost his chest a little bit, and he literally he's like, nope, taking it again, and he like smashed it at like RPE 8, just absolutely obliterated. That's when we knew it was just done. Like that, it was like, okay, we just have to show up. We just have to show up and like do us, and we're enough at that point. So yeah, like it's just it's a way of like it sounds crazy. It's like boxing or F1 racing or something like that. Like boxing, like you have to take a punch to the face without like really like getting just straight out like getting a straight right to the face, like, so using padding and like introducing yourself to it and understanding the risk reward to all of this. And I would say probably, and I may make a bold statement on this, but not using the tools that are in powerlifting gyms today, especially the ones that would be considered old head, the old West Side max effort, accommodating resistance methods and things like that. Like you're leaving pounds on the bar when it comes to these bigger guys, right? Because you just look at it like that,
Okay, this is really interesting. I didn't know we were going to go in this direction, but this is a really good topic. I love that you said like West Side in quote unquote air quotes like old head, because you're right. When you started talking like this, I was thinking West Side, and I was a lot of people on the IPF side, the tested side, don't do these kind of methodologies, and when they think of like chains or you immediately start thinking like box squats or safety bar squats with chains, and you're squatting onto a box, and you're thinking that's old head, West Side, we're past that, we're on the other side of that. You see this in sports period though. What was old comes back around. Things, you know what I mean? This isn't just in powerlifting in general. But do you think for larger athletes in powerlifting, this is the way? In that, I mean, obviously, look at the success you're having with Lou and what this is bringing. Do you think this should be brought back, and maybe this will reinvigorate that conversation?
I think so in a lot of ways, because it's a repeatable pattern I have. Devonte's won. I coached JP Price to his all-time world record, his 1,000-pound squat, and his all-time world record total before Ray took it 3 hours later. Back in the day, I've been coaching Hagen Henderson, and he's on the cusp of a 455 kilo squat. He's just right there. He barely missed it at the animal cage this year. Zach Myers, I start wrapping off these names, and you're like, yep, 900-pound squatter, 900-pound squatter, 1,000-pound squatter.
World record breakers here.
Yeah. And the system kind of sits the same. It's all about risk reward. These guys are big guys. They really don't have a lot of great shoulder mobility. Like putting Devonte under bar, like when you see him in person, he is a mountain of a man. He's a mountain. Like it's not.
How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh, Lou?
Oh,
I think I weighed in at like 211 just
so
Thursday.
How tall are you?
About 6 even.
You are a mountain of a man.
he
Oh, yeah.
so here's a funny story. Last year, so he's so we talked about how he's competed for 24 months, right? For 2 years. So it was July of last year was his first meet ever. So let's make
Crazy.
that
It's
that
crazy.
that and so he works with my partner Heidi. Heidi's a West Sider. She's a West Side board holder, by the way. She does like his nutrition and like keeps him fueled and stuff like that. So he does his check-ins. And so she was looking at it and she'd be like, yeah, he's coming in at like, he's coming in at like 190, 185 kilos and stuff. That's what his scale says. And then we get to the meet, do official weigh-in, and it's like 210. We're like, whoa, bud. He's like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
my scale's off.
Lou, have you always been big? Like your whole life as a kid, the whole nine?
So yeah, like what's crazy is when I played college football, I was maybe I don't know how to talk in kilos. I would played football at about 340 to about 360 in
Damn.
pounds. So what really got me into powerlifting was I really just wanted to go back to the gym. Like I played football, I did cheerleading and all that in college, and I was just like going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. And I'm just getting bigger. Like I'm losing mobility. I'm losing I felt like I was losing the sense of myself. Like because I was so competitive all these years. I played football since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like I was always so competitive. So I got back into the gym, and we was at some Globo gym. Like I'm just lifting and squatting. I'm like, I got no knee sleeves. I'm wearing Amazon branded slippers. Like, and we one of our friends he competed at a meet, and Greeno handled him. And he was telling Greeno, like, you need to look at this guy. And Greeno would come to me. He was like, man, you should get into powerlifting. I'm like, I don't know what powerlifting is. I only knew about football. That's the only thing I knew. I'm from Texas. So, like, all I knew was football. And Greeno was like, man, you should get into powerlifting. You'll be good. I'm like, I don't know. And he would show me people. Like, one of the first people I seen was Jesus. I'm like, this dude is squatting 1,000, pulling 900. I'm like, I can't even pull 600 off the ground.
Damn.
Like, I couldn't even pull 600 off the ground. I couldn't. Like one reason why we switched to sumo was because in conventional, I couldn't get to the bar, not comfortably. Like it would be really ugly. So like that's one big reason why we switched to sumo, and everything was ugly. The only thing I had was I was squatting raw, benching raw. When I say raw, I mean no knee sleeves, no belt, no wrist wraps. I'm just getting it out the mud, basically. Like so, one day he's like, go over to SBC, which is owned by JP Price, and he's like, go over to SBC. I'm telling you, you'll do good. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'll do it though. So then I think we spent like 6 months. He didn't really coach me, but he gave me guidance. I was going off of Chat GPT. I was doing 531 off of Chat GPT.
Okay.
And then one day, I think my first video that blew up, I think I did like a 903 triple. It was last year around like December, January. I did a 903 triple and kind of blew up. And I looked at him. I said, yeah, I think I'm ready for you to coach me, because that blew up. Like I had my lifting Instagram. I went from like 600 followers to like 6,000 in a matter of a month. I'm like, all these people following me. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. I think it's time for me to be coached. And honestly, the biggest question I asked him about powerlifting was, do you think my mom will be proud of me? And he said, yeah. So that's one of the biggest reasons, because I like make my mama proud. So like my biggest question to him was like, do you think my mom will be proud of me? Do you think she will want to show up to these meets and be like, that's my son? He said, yeah. So then we started powerlifting. Next thing you know, 6 months later, I squatted 1,000.
Well, first off, I mean, yeah, your mom's gonna be proud. Dog. Like, in you being from Texas, I don't know what the hell's going on in Texas, but Texas got the strong. Texas could supply their own freaking national team to the World Championships. Like, it is crazy how many lifters coming out of Texas. It's nuts, man.
It's the Texas single ply system, man. It's the Texas single ply system out of their high schools. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it in the world.
It's yeah, it might be a great farm system to get people into the sport young and get people going. And for you to be squatting 900 pounds for a triple before you had a coach is crazy in terms of like raw talent and potential. That's nuts to hear, man. You took 900 pounds for a triple and you didn't have a coach, and you're just mucking around a little bit trying to That's nuts. That is absolutely insane. And you're like, yeah, I think I'll take this seriously now. That is crazy. And obviously begs the question, where the heck are we going if that's the potential? So when you started and you found Jesus Olivares and you're like, oh my God, take a look what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
Did you expect that within a year's time, you're within earshot of him like this, 11:36?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even think I was good enough to be on Greeno's roster. Like he'll tell you, like I was like, man, I don't think I'm good enough to be on your roster. I don't think I'm good enough for you to coach me. And like I didn't think none of that. Like I just got into it. Like I did my first meet. This is no joke. And this is like a running thing that we have. I did my first meet to get a free pizza buffet at a local pizza buffet that we have in town. Like this is no joke. Like I did it because
tell me how. What do you mean? Somebody said if you do this, I'll buy you buffet.
We coached him to it. Like his thing is him and I met. Like I said at the Globo gym, and I was like, hey bud, like you're gonna be good at this. Like I don't know where we would go with this, but like. Because the reality of it is like we talked about, he's like, well, how do I do this? Because we train together. We're just training partners. And I'm like, dude, you don't need a coach right now. You just need a coherent program. And so like what he was doing, he's like, hey, do you think I should do this? I'm like, yeah, do that. Right. Like, so we just train together. We show up every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night. And like, I'm around. I'm an old head. I'm like one of the OGs of the community. So it's like, just do. And it's like, there'll be a time and place for the structure and for the coaching, but I just need you to like, he's an infant, right? Like how many people would do so well just to get into the sport from the ground zero and spend their first couple of years doing 5-3-1, right? Like that's how you develop the love for the game. And then you put them in structure, right? Because they know a little bit about themselves, right? Right. They know how to drive, they know how to drive the car that is their body and stuff like that. But like, and I told them, it was like, like it was funny because at the, like our community, it's like people cutting up and stuff like, yeah, we'll take you to Pizza Street. Right. Like, and we have a whole picture of us just like like a bunch of powerlifters raiding this $5.99 pizza buffet.
Yeah. Put that friggin' place out of business that day, huh? When they seen you fellas come, they got, fuck,
it was like 2 hours before
we're about to take a bath.
They were angry. It was like 2 hours they closed.
They didn't make a dime off that day. They took a heavy loss that day, but they had to restructure their whole freaking business plan after that day. No kidding. Well, I mean, you're 100% right. First off, for 5-3-1 to get you to a 900-pound triple is insane. But you're right. Find somebody, help them develop some structure and a love for it first. You got to enjoy what you're doing, and then a kind of like a slow creep into this because it becomes monotonous, it becomes overwhelming, it becomes just start walking first. The thing is, for you, Lou, this shit got serious pretty freaking quickly. I mean, you only have 3 competitions so far, and you're already, there's talk of, I mean, you have the biggest squat we've ever seen. And there's the talk on you is absolutely insane. Is this a lot for you to take in all of a sudden, like?
Oh yeah, it is. Like I think after my second meet I did in January to had to do the state meet to qualify for USAPL Nationals. I like got off Instagram. It was just like the sheer amount of people, it's just too much. And it's not like a bad thing. It's not like, oh, people don't follow me, don't talk to me. Like, no, it's just like when you have like 600 followers and then in a month you have 6,000, it's like, okay, this can be too much. And I got off Instagram. I was like, just solely tried to get myself back into the gym, right? Because you can get on Instagram, you start getting a couple followers, start getting a couple brands hitting you up saying like, hey, we would love to work with you. We would love to send you a free gift. Next thing you know, you become bigger than what you were. And my goal was to literally just be as strong as possible. Like the biggest reason why we're going, I know we talk about Jesus, the biggest reason why I'm going to the IPF or going to PA is solely so I can face him, and not in the way that like, oh, I want to beat him. I think I'm David versus Goliath. Just a situation of I have a competitive nature, and the best in the super heavyweights is in the IPF. So I'm going to go face that. Like my coach says this all the time. He's like, if he had enough money, he'll do a meet at Golden Corral and then biggest total wins. Like that's how like that's how I see it. Like if me and Jesus were to go faced off unsanctioned meet somewhere in Africa, hot 100 degrees outside, I'll go face him. Like I don't really care what federation, what anything. Just give me some competent judges, give me good bars, the right weight, and I'll go face him. So like my goal in powerlifting is to be as strong as possible, and with all this expectation comes my competitive spirit, and now I can bring that out to where I can face Jesus and face other people that will bring me a challenge that will make me go into the gym every day and be like, okay, you need to hit whatever the coach put on the sheet and not take it easy.
This showdown between you and Jesus, as a fan, is when that happens, it's going to be the biggest showdown in the sport. Period. And this is a sport. People, we compete. That's what it is. And without showdowns, I mean, exhibition lifting is great when you're doing things like you're doing, like Colton, for instance. He has no competition, but he doesn't necessarily need it. Phenomenal to watch him, etc. But that's an oddity in terms of people. Even better than that would be if Colton actually had a rival and you didn't know who was going to win, and you're like, oh my God, I need to tune in Saturday because I need to know what's going to happen. Everybody remembers in every sport, when you don't know who's going to win, and you're like, this is phenomenal. I can't believe two Titans are about to clash. It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing in sport. And for the longest time in powerlifting, in the 120 plus, it's just been Jesus. And he's basically jogging in his own lane. And he didn't have anybody beside him to make him run. And then you emerged. And this is an actual race. There is no jogging. He needs to pick up his feet now, doesn't he? And now people are talking. Now people are excited, to your point. So having said that, and obviously you embrace it, do you feel like, what are your goals for Rising Tide? Are you looking to, you already did 1136. What are some of the check boxes you want in your next comp?
Honestly, the big check boxes would be just go 9 for 9. 1136 was 10 weeks. It'll be 10 weeks from Rising Tide. Right now, it's about 6 weeks away. So it's like, do we need to push again? Because I won't be able to qualify for Sheffield. I won't be able to qualify for Worlds. This is, in reality, this is a qualifying for Nationals, right? Get a total so you can qualify for Nationals. So, like, I think the biggest goal is to go 9 for 9. Greeno can speak on it, kind of like learn the way of the PA, the IPF, kind of like that prime time, like, segment of things, because we're going to be in prime time, 12 people, 2 flights. Like, it's kind of just an experience of learning where I'm going to be in the next year coming up, because you never know, right? Like me versus Jesus at Nationals, winner goes to Worlds, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, if I have that possibility of being able to go to Worlds, I need to put myself in that experience. And that's kind of like my football background, right? Like at football practice, you have periods where you literally just practice goal line. You just practice getting out the end zone, right? So it's like putting myself in the place to be able to go to those places and go to those meets in the future and not feel bombarded with the sheer just excitement and sheer atmosphere of it. That's kind of the real goal of Rising Tide.
Yeah. And the thing is ultimately there's levels to this, right? Like I caught a lot of ire from the internet community because I didn't take him immediately to the IPF, right? Like his first meet was a local meet, right? It was local to the gym, as you would expect, and it's a drug tested meet, right? It was in PLU, and I was like, okay, let's just do this. Let's get your feet wet. You may not even like it, right? And we started there, and he squatted 455 kilos, and he broke the subtotal record, right? Largest total all time. It's like, okay, well, that was at a local meet, and then when everybody saw it, and they're like, well, he should do this, and I'm like, he's an infant. He's just a baby, guys. Like, you have to understand there's levels to this. Like, let's go to something a little harder, right? Let's go to USAPL. Ray set the record in the USAPL, right? So it's respectable that, okay, if there's it's a chance at that, let's go play in the minors. We're not ready for the pros yet, like, and that's the thing is Devonte is so coachable in that respect. Like, we did our state qualifier. Like, we're like, hey, like, let's just put up a casual 400 kilo squat. Like we kind of played around with the idea of just like before they got rid of prime time, we're like, let's just like slide into like the regular day, the non-prime time slot, so no one's looking at us, right? So when we showed up to USAPL Nationals, like that was, in my opinion, I still hold USAPL Nationals as like kind of that second rung to IPF Worlds. It's still a very rigid meet in standards because you know this, like it's a machine. It just turns and it's unforgiving. Like they just turn people out and they, 1,200 person 4 or 5 day meet. It's a lot, and it's a lot to take in. I'm like, that's a really good minor leagues place for him to play before we actually go to the big time, right? Because now we have to contend with real competition. We have to manage the meet environment, but also these other things. So there was levels to this to bring him up to this point. And again, Rising Tide is just another evolution to that. Is now we're in PA. Now we're in the IPF affiliate. Now we're on the big time, right? He's earned his way to this point. As his coach, I'm not treating him like this giant spectacle of a person. I'm treating him like a real powerlifter who's got talent, right? And so I've drawn some criticism over that, but he's stayed in the pocket with me and he's continued to be successful in that respect, because when you do kind of do things prematurely, like you can just tell when someone's not ready for it. Right. So, and that's kind of the direction we're heading in at that point, is now just go to PA, get a sense and a feel of the environment and the people, and then we'll get ready for nationals. Right. And we'll go from there. It'll be another level.
I think it was a good idea. First off, people are going to want to rush you far too quick. In 3 competitions, already be 11:36, and the type and world record squat, et cetera, is huge. And people are going to naturally want to rush you. They want it all at once. And it's, my friends, he competed once, and people are already like, let's get him going. Let's bring him over. It's like, okay, take it easy. Take it easy.
And I can't think, going back to what you said, is like, I honestly, when we talk about your podcast, King of the Lifts, like this is the king of the lifts. Like, did we really ever get a proper Blaine Sumner, Ray Williams on his ascent battle? Did we ever really get that? Like
peak versus peak?
No. Jesus is still swinging lumber, right? Devonte, he's swinging lumber. Like, there's something to be said. Like, I get it. Like the smaller weight classes and stuff, the 120s and below and stuff. But like, there's something to be said when you have people just really large. It's strength sports, right? It's just, you could have multiple 450 plus kilo squats. You have the largest subtotals just being thrown around. And the story in itself, you have Devonte, who's coming from the left side, where he's coming from the largest squat and one of the biggest benches, actually pretty close to the biggest bench. Like, we barely missed it off of a foot slip. And, his deadlift has opportunities, but then you have Jesus, who's got a really strong squat. His bench is kind of showing some weakness, but he's got that deadlift. So this is gonna be such a weird, crazy, cool pairing. Like, I still have to wrangle myself in as a fan, right? Am I got a dog in this fight? Like, I'm like, shoot.
You got to do both. As a fan, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is about to happen. But then you're like, I'm handling right now. I'm in this.
I got my expectations, and it's crazy. It's a crazy feeling too, because this is uncharted territory even for me. I'm used to one side of the sport, like coming over here, and I have a lot of learning to do too. So, especially I've been in the sport for so long. It's a process, and it couldn't happen a more poetic way. I'll tell you that.
Well, first off, it's great hearing all sides. Yes, we have not seen a 120 plus clash like this, prime for prime, 2 Titans like this, period, ever. That's what makes this exciting. You saying too, you've been in this sport for decades, and for you to be like, how exciting is it for yourself, Greeno, to be like, and this is new to me. After decades, I get to walk through new doors and have new experiences. How exciting would that be after decades to be like, wow, okay, This is new, and I get to learn things and grow myself. And humbling for you to say that. Like coaches oftentimes want to be like, I've done it all, blah, blah, blah. For you to be like, no, I'm learning too. I'll never stop learning myself.
I haven't done it all. And that's the thing. Like an IPF world champion is something that I've always ever wanted, right? Being in this space, I was like, man, that'd be really cool. Cause it's the one thing I can never give myself the credit to, right? I look at all these other coaches, like they're great coaches. They're great. You know, they have great athletes. It's like, I have great athletes. Yeah. I have a myriad of all-time world records across the board in different spaces. But you know what? Like, I don't have this. I don't have in my opinion, the only world recognized platform in terms of like a real world champion. Like that's the thing I don't have. And that's not to say like I'm commoditizing Devonte, but like I've just never had someone who was a serious contender. Like and so I kept myself out of that pool. Right. I was like, I got no, you know, I don't even got floaties. I'll just drown there. Right. Right. So, you know, but, you know, when you talk to people, man, I followed you for a long time. Like, I'm a nobody. Like, as Devonte say, I'm just a regular guy. But like,
I am just a regular guy.
You know, so, but the fact that you have it now, it's just like, oh, wow. Like, I have to prepare myself and I have to say, man, okay, you know, like, but you just trust what you know, right? And that's what I tell him is like, you have to believe in yourself and you have to have conviction in everything that you do. You're here for a reason and you have to believe that. Like people see it. And if you don't see it yourself, you're dead in the water. You're just dead in the water.
Lou, when you think about potentially becoming a world champion,
mm-hmm.
and that's a title, you sit down in any room, they don't even need to know about powerlifting. If they're like, how good were you? Well, I was a world champion. For the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, it's a say less comment. Everybody knows exactly what that means. Long after, I mean, people who won't know who Jesus Olivares is, people who won't know any of these characters inside of powerlifting, they'll know what world champion means. What does that mean to you to be in the discussion and potentially be eyeing up a world championship?
For me, man, it means a lot. Like I say this all the time, I'm just a regular guy. Like if you look at powerlifting, like there's not a lot of people in that top 0.1%. And even there's people in the top 0.1% who are still searching for that world championship, who's still searching to even reach that stage. Like if you look at the USA, I think there's NAPF, and I was watching Presser Powerlifting YouTube. He was talking about how Angelino Fortino has been in it for decades, and he's just now making his international debut. So you have people who have been world renowned, like people who's been top 10 in the world, but they still haven't been able to step foot on that world stage, be able to, you know, get that world championship. So for me to get it, it'll just be an honor. Like I'm super new to this. Like you said, 2 years ago, I didn't know what powerlifting was. You told me who John Hack was, I'd be like, who is John Hack? Like,
oh my gosh.
And Greeno knows I'm not lying. He's like, you know who John Hack is? Yeah. I'm like, who's that? I'm like, you know, Ed Cohn? I'm like, who's that? He's like, do you know who Blaine Sumner is? I'm like, I don't know who. Like, I didn't know nobody. So like to be able in this quick of time to be on that stage, on that level with people who probably spent years on years to reach this level, it'll be amazing. And like, I think the best part about it is like, I know we talk about Jesus, but it's like, he is the mountain. He is the top of the mountain. Like if you look at all super heavyweights, nobody has done what he's done. So it's like to be able, it's kind of like if you were like Carmelo trying to go against MJ back in the 90s, right? To be able to beat him at his prime, at his peak, is just an honor. And I tip my hat off to him. Like me and him, we don't talk, but like we send reels to each other. So we're cool. Like I wouldn't say we're
really
best
no
friends.
kidding. You guys send each other reels?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, like powerlifting reels, or like we talking funny
like
stuff?
Funny stuff.
No
like,
shit. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like we're like, I wouldn't say we're best friends or nothing like that, but we're cool. We're friends. So it's like to be able to go against him and to be able to even grace the stage with him would be amazing. Like if you think about it, if you look at PA Nats next year, Ray Williams coming off his ban, so he's going to be there as well. Hopefully, hopefully, right? So it's like you're going to have a flight with 7,000 pound squat attempts. Yeah. Think about that. you're going to have a flight with 7,000-pound flight attempts. Like,
Mm.
like you don't even see that in whole. Like, if you go through a whole year, you might get 7 attempts period throughout all the meets. Now you're going to have that in one flight. So it's
Well,
like to be able to even grace that stage would be amazing.
Well, you had like Frank Allen if he decides to show up and gets.
Oh yeah, you got Frank Allen too.
You,
He's gonna be a rising tide.
I mean, that Nats better have a crew ready to just.
God.
I mean, they're going to have to hold some weight because I mean, if you look at that, that's going to be.
God.
That's going to be.
You imagine how
Frank's
nerve wracking
gonna be a
that be
rising
being
tide.
that. You imagine how nerve wracking it'd be being that freaking floor crew. Where you're like,
Oh, yeah.
nobody is praying that you guys hit those lifts more than those fellas who are like, oh my God, please.
You would think you're at a multiply meet with that many 900 plus 1,000-pound squats.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's insane. And that just to think of that, think about that. Just historically wise, it's like, oh, 7,000-pound rides, like that's a multiply meet. Like that's not a meet in a combo rack with a power bar. That bar is gonna be like, I'm tired, boss.
I'm tired, boss. Retired.
Maybe we can talk PA into giving 120 pluses their on flight the way they do 93s and 83s and stuff. I mean, like, if you really think about it, you got me, Jesus, Frank Allen, Ray Williams, Robert Lazarian, and like you got Robert Lazarian, somebody Carrington, he pulls like 400. So you have like a legit flight of people who, like, honestly, if you take away me, Jesus, and Ray, you have a flight of people that can go to worlds and contend. Like, get podium. Like, that's just how, like, that's just the sheer size of the USA. But when you're talking about certain classes, you can go to just about every class in the USA, pull the 5th place winner, pull the 5th place person, put them at worlds, and they're trying to get second. Like, they're pulling for second, first, third. Like, that's just how great of time that we're living in right now.
When you say you, Jesus, and Ray, you think about this. That is, in terms of greatness, potentially, we could be looking at past, present, and future.
Oh yeah,
maybe. Now, if you're Jesus Olivares, you're thinking, no, homie, I'm present and future. That's it. I'm both of those two. But if you're Lou, if you're Greeno, you're thinking, no, that's the past, present, and future, right there.
Oh yeah.
We don't know. Only time will tell. But this might be a very important U.S. Nats where, if it all plays out, where, like, let's say you become a multiple-time world champ yourself, we will look back at this as a special passing of the torch moment where 3 all-time greats clashed, and we see eras. We see 3 different eras. What are your thoughts on that, Lou? When you think they're about the greatness that would be on that platform, and you're joining?
Like, I think it's amazing because you look at all the other like weight classes. You got like 74s where you got Taylor, you got Perk, you got Elliott. You look at 83s, you got Joe, you got Jaden, you got Angelino. 93s, you got Rush, you got Will, you got Jonathan Keiko. Like, you have all these, like, you have all of that in all these other weight classes, but you don't have that in the super heavyweight where you want to see it, where you just want to see massive men move massive weight. And for that to just come prevalent, like, out of nowhere too. Like, it's not like I've been doing it for 8 years and it's like, oh, he's finally here. It's like, no, he came out of nowhere. You got Jesus doing godly things. Then you got Ray Williams. I'm pretty sure he wants his squat record back. He wants to show that I'm not the past. I'm still here. I'm still present. I'm still prevalent. So it's like, to have that in one meet, it's amazing. And to think that, like, it's safe to say that the winner of that is going to go to Worlds and win. So it's like, it's almost like we talk about this where it's like, that's kind of our Worlds where we need to take this as serious as if we're going. I think Worlds is in Brazil next year, where we're going to Brazil, because if you win this, I'm gonna have like a 95% chance to win Worlds. Like, granted, I meet the high standard of the IPF squat. You know, like, if I go 3 for 3 on squat, it's over. Like, if I go to Worlds and get a 3 for 3 squad, I can't wait to make a comment. I'm gonna do a montage of comments saying he would never pass in the IPF.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. You probably don't need all 3 squats to wrap it up, but but it depends too. Like, who the frick knows? if they end up sending 2 120 pluses from the U.S., we have a rematch there because people get injured, drop out, blah, 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 and they got to send 2 in one weight class. Like, you never know. The world's a funny place. But Greeno, what's your thoughts on the past, present, future, and this potential clash?
I mean, I told him after he hit the record at USAPL National, said, Bud, we may have to prepare for a best of 3 next year, right? Like 2027 may be very, very well could be a best of 3 if a perfect storm happens, right? You like maybe edge out Jesus on the 3rd deadlift or something to that effect. They could send both of you to Worlds technically and say, hey, and then you trade spots. Like, could you imagine Devonte wins at Nationals, they send both, and then Jesus edges him out at Worlds to get the 6th.
Then we're at Sheffield.
And they go to Sheffield for the best of 3. Could you imagine? And the thing about it is like I've been deep in like the analytics of powerlifting. Like, to go back to your original question is how do I feel about this? Like, I've been kind of neck deep in like the analytics of powerlifting, doing kind of my own personal project. But like, it's like the IPF and like this like whole like era of like lifter has been carrying powerlifting in such a big way these last couple of years. And like, we're kind of in this weird like lull in a little bit. Like we're seeing really great people, but it's been kind of a lull. But this is like we've been missing the big guys. Like we have Colton stands on his own, Jesus stands on his own, great. Like, but we're like missing that big dogs-esque, like where you had multiple just big guys with, 1,100 kilo totals, and it was just like we've been missing that. And like this is just like a shot of adrenaline, in my opinion, to just like the sport. Just like, oh, we have some really big guys, and it's coming. Crazy enough, it's coming in the most unlikely of places. It's coming over on the drug-tested IPF style to powerlifting. It's not these just big mega mutants that used to be in the 2015s and 2018s, the later parts of the 2010s, like where you had big dogs and you had all these really big untested side guys with wraps and stuff. Mm. And I don't know, like as a fan, I'm like, this is insane. But as a coach, I'm like, okay, I know what to do. I just got to stay on track. But I have to prepare to bring, and I think I told you this in a DM. I was like, I'm going to bring as a coach, my job is to bring the best version of Devonte that's worthy of facing Jesus. That's what I have to do. That's the pressure, right? A king only can be a king so long on his throne. Eventually he's going to want to be challenged. And you can tell Jesus wants the challenge, right? Yeah. He wants it. It'll solidify his legacy such a crazy way. Like, you can't deny the man. If he slays Devonte and fights him off and keeps his crown, what can you tell this man?
Yep.
However, even if Jesus wins year 1, Lou ain't going nowhere. No. They're going to run it back. They're going to. That's what's exciting about this. It's like, my man, now for here on out, Devonte and Jesus are both in their 20s, young men. It's like Jesus is for here on out, you can't miss. There's been so many times we've seen Jesus, and he could have an off day. He could not even come out for his 3rd squat, his 3rd bench, his 3rd deadlift. He could just pull it back and win comfortably. And for here on out, for the rest of his career, you miss lifts and you're done. Lou is there. And it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't matter who wins the first one, but you're guaranteed there'll be a 2nd, there'll be a 3rd, there'll be a 4th. It's going to happen. No more do you get to have easy days. Now it's going to be a dogfight for here on out. That's a whole nother level of pressure. That will change how Jesus trains, how Jesus eats, how Jesus handles everything. Everything is different from here on out.
Oh yeah, that's kind of why I see what I'm doing as an honor, right? Because like, how many times do you think like Michael Jordan took things serious, like took another team or another person serious? How many times do you think Kobe, LeBron, like all these greats, Mike Tyson, like go to boxing, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, MMA, John Jones, like all these people, right? They kind of cruise, right? And then it's like, I want that person. Now I'm going to give y'all serious. I'm gonna give y'all serious Jesus, right? Like if y'all think I've been in a stalled moment, I'm gonna give y'all serious Jesus. So to be able to be that person and bring that out, it's truly amazing, because the competitive side of me is I want the best Jesus. I don't want Jesus who is, struggling to pick up 390. Like at World, he missed 390 twice. So it's like, I don't want that Jesus. I want the 417 and a half Jesus. I want the 2023 Sheffield Jesus. Because if I can bring that out of you, that mean either you see me as a real threat or possibly I won. That mean I beat 20. Imagine, go back to 2023 Sheffield Jesus. To think somebody beat that, you're mind blowing, right? So that brings something out of me, and that brings something out of him, and that's just more viewership for powerlifting. That's fun for the fans. Like if you're a fan and you're thinking like, oh man, Jesus is gonna walk in the worlds again and win. Now it's like I gotta watch PA Nats. Like how many people really watch on Sunday? How many people, like you just had a whole week of flights and you already had the battles. Like who's really watching on Sunday when you know Jesus is gonna win? The really only battle is like the 120, like you had Ashton Ruska and Brendan Todd, but it's like, are we really watching that? Because we already know, like everybody already had this idea that Rondale was going to win world. So it's like, who's really watching on Sunday? Now as a viewer, it's like I'm gonna watch on Sunday, prime time, 6 p.m., while I'm making my meal prep for the week. Or
dog, you bet your ass nobody's missing that one. Are you kidding?
Oh yeah. So like it's really fun. Like I say all the time, I'm a regular guy because I am. Like I'm just like we talk about powerlifting, right? You have 99% of powerlifting who kind of like, this is a hobby, not necessarily a sport. It's a hobby. It's a fun thing. I feel like I'm still a part of them because this is a hobby. This is still fun to me. And when it's no longer fun, I will walk away. But until it's no longer fun, I'm going to keep going and keep bringing out. Hopefully me and Jesus aren't the only 120 pluses who will come out and just be crazy strong.
A couple things. First off, that can't help but notice. I know you came to powerlifting late and you're like, I didn't know who was who and what was what. Dude, you rattled off earlier, division by division, a bunch of all the big names. That now you're dropping like the 120s, the Clash. 2023, like Jesus Olivares, which is before you got in. You quick caught up. Like, did you real quick caught up? You know everybody now and their numbers and everything, like their stats. So if you just flipped on and be like, okay, I'm a powerlifting nerd now. I know, like, have you dove into the stats and have you doubled back and watched competitions from yesteryear and the whole nine?
Oh yeah, I definitely have. So I'm an accountant in my day job. So it's like,
dude, you're an accountant.
Yeah, I'm an accountant. Like, so like my job
that is so nothing. Like that has nothing to do with powerlifting. An accountant. You picture like a nerd with glasses who like not the strongest man in the world. But anyways,
yeah, I'm an accountant. So
when I first met him, like at the Global Gym, he's walking around with some inappropriate shirt on. Like,
now I'm curious, but
he's got these Horace Grant goggles on.
That's right. Yeah, in your videos, you do look like an accountant, actually, ironically enough, or like Superman Clark Kent.
And he's bench pressing 550 with bumpers. It just looks stupid. And I'm like, who is this guy? I was like, I'm going to spot this guy because clearly there's not one little kid here or person here that's going to be able to help him. He's like, hey, thanks. And I'm like,
yeah, if you're benching over 500 pounds and you ask, can you spot me? You'd be like, I'm not spotting you. I'm going to witness your death if you don't hit this. Like, I don't know what your expectations are. Dude, I can't even imagine if I was to call an accounting firm and I book an appointment, I show up and you're the guy in the room. I'd be like, what the shit? This guy is a professional wrestler. Like, it would be incredible. Isn't life freaking funny, huh? But anyways, what do people at work, because this happened out of nowhere, and I'm sure other people in your actual personal life, because you went from deadlifting 600 pounds was a no-go, you said, to to like, one of the strongest humans alive, one of the strongest humans of all time. What do people in your personal life, at work, friends, family, what are they saying right now when they're like, Lou, you're going to be contesting for, a national title, a world title?
Oh, yeah.
Do they know Sheffield that's in a stadium? Like, are people just going crazy in your personal life?
So what's crazy is at work, when I got back, they had my desk decorated. They took screenshots of the live stream and put it up. Like I got this joke at work where I think Little Caesars is the best pizza ever. I don't really think it's the best pizza ever, but it's reliable. It's $5. If you down to your last dime, Little Caesar will be there for you. So
dude, if they don't sponsor you, go on. Sorry.
So we had a Little Caesars pizza party. Like it was fun, and like a lot of them don't really like. They know that I'm strong, but they don't know what powerlifting is. They're just like, I got a coworker who does it, and he's the strongest. Yay! And like honestly, what's weird is like in my personal life, a lot of people didn't know what powerlifting was, but a lot of people told me I should get into strength sports, right? A lot of people told me get into strongman. And then there's a guy at my gym who does strongman, and he's always broken down. I was like, yep, I'm not doing that. So it's like a lot of people like kind of like the thing about me is the community is the reason why I'm powerlifting. Like they believed in me before I even did. Like we talk about the pizza party. It's like we were at the gym, and it's like, everybody's like, dude, if you do this powerlifting me, we'll all go get Pizza Street. We'll pay for you. I told them for weeks, I'm like, no, I don't care about powerlifting. Don't really know what it is. I don't really care. And next thing you know, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And like the community is kind of what made me do it. So like a lot of people aren't surprised because like a lot of people seen the potential before I even did. I was just lifting, but like at work, it's a huge deal. Like I still got the decorations up on my desk for that, which is funny.
Dude, can you sorry, go ahead, Greeno.
Like, well, it's just, our community has a great eye for it because I mean, we have such a lineage that's come through Kansas City. I mean, between JP and Hunter Henderson and this, like, it's a turnstile of just really, really like talented people. So like when you see someone, you're like, here we go again. Right?
Can you imagine the people's reaction when you like clash with Jesus, and if you win a national title and secure a world spot, you go to Worlds, become a world champion. Can you imagine people at work, your mother, your friends, and family? Can you imagine the pride they would have? We have a world champion. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable, man. Like it's like I will say something about powerlifting is like you see a lot on social media of powerlifters like having these mental moments where like they're struggling to kind of just do what they want to do. Like for me, like having a community, having friends, having family who is just that, like if I text them, they're like, oh, how's the gym? Or how much did you squat today? How much did you bench today? Like having that, knowing that people are proud of me is what keeps me going. When you might have that moment where you're like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it no more. And then like you look at a text from your old high school coach, and it's like, hey man, how much did you bench today? How much did you squat today? And it's like people are proud of you. So like it keeps me going. Like it's honestly like it's almost like a charger, right? Like these people are proud of you. So it's like when the battery is low, knowing that people are proud of you, not necessarily like in a way that like, oh, I wouldn't be here for you if you didn't do this. Like these are people that's been here for me when I was just a regular accountant, right? When I was just going to work and coming home. So knowing that they're even more proud of me, it's like a charger. It's like I connect to a charger and I refill my battery.
Because other people are watching and taking strength and inspiration from what you're doing. You're not just doing it for yourself at this point.
Oh yeah,
it hits a little different. I was talking to my friend Kath. There was a Canadian lifter whom she went missing temporarily for days last week. She was out. She was at a concert, and not to go super deep into it, but she legitimately was a missing person. And I was telling Kathleen how, so people in the powerlifting community, because we knew her in Canada in the powerlifting community, she had lifted at Canadian Nationals, been to Worlds as a junior, and once she went missing, and they found her now, and she's with her family now. But when she went missing, the entire, I mean, thousands of repost shares, likes, and spreading. It was insane. I couldn't go on Instagram without seeing people saying, have you seen her, and notifications, etc. The community rallying behind her. It was absolutely awe-inspiring. And I told Cafu, there's these type of things happen, and it would be just her parents looking for her. And instead, because she's a power lifter, the freaking community, you had people that I'd met her once or twice at a meet, and I'm sharing that too. Like, people are all over. That's the community. When you're in the community, it is kind of, there's a lot of shit going on too, but there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good people out there in the community. There's a lot of positive to take away from this community, and the people rallied behind her. And it is like, you can't take that for granted. A lot of people don't have that,
no. And I've seen a lot of phases of this sport. I'm here for a reason. I've been in it for 30 years for a reason, right? It's carried me through, and the people have carried me through in, the good times, the bad times. I've seen so many phases of my life go through and have checkpoints, mental checkpoints of like when I was in this sport or the things that you did, at that time. It's like, I remember like my, the meet right before my son was born or something to that effect. Like, it's important. And the people who come and go in your lives, and the people at the end of the day, it's like it becomes a part of you in a big way. And the community in itself, like you're right. There's way more good than there is bad. I know sometimes we get some really bad spots, and it's easy to get frustrated with it, but we're here for a reason. We're still here for the reason, because we love it and it's ours, and we have to kind of protect it in that respect. When it gets hard and the people get vulnerable, we need to lift them up. We need to protect them. Like, they're one of us, because that could be us. Right. And I think you've kind of seen that a little bit, over the last couple of days with some of the issues that we've seen, right? It's like, that could have been us, right? And you do that. And I think we still have to continue to see each other as humans, and, so moments like that can happen, right? Because you're not diffusing it, because you're numb to the BS or whatever you might see,
Yeah, 100%. It is like, I think in general, there's more good people than bad people, and more often, and you can't lose faith. I got faith in people out there, man. I've seen it. And anyways, also though, but for Rising Tide, because I'm going to be there, by the way, commentating, and I'm insanely freaking excited about it.
Oh yeah.
Greeno, what do you think? Do you have expectations of, or a battle plan for, what kind of lifts are we going to see? We saw 1136. Are we getting closer to Jesus? Are we going to cruise control it? Or are we going to see some PR attempts, or what's going on?
We're not going to cruise control it.
Yeah, nice. All right. That's what I want to hear.
We're not cruise controlling it. And he'll probably get mad at me. But like, I'm looking at our peak right now. We're gonna prep. And we're going to have fun, right? Ultimately, we're going to have fun. The day is going to predicate what we're going to do, right? But I will say this, we're probably going to squat 465 in training in the next couple of weeks. We're going to see how that feels. 2417 is a fun round number.
That's not that round, but that's huge. That's very specific as well, by the way. But
it's only 95% to the record. So, think about it. It's me and Devonte. I know it's a full transparency, because I'll say it here, but like, there's something fun about being cheeky and, getting that number. Oh, it's 95% to Sheffield. Oh, he just qualified. He just stepped onto his first PA mate and qualified for Sheffield. Right. Mm-hmm. And you sit there like, oh, okay, we'll go 2.5 kilos more, and just say, oh, that beat Jesus's total at Worlds. What if he shows up and maybe we're feeling ourselves that day and we go for 2.5 kilos over the IPF world record on squat and he gets 3 white lights and you're like, what now? Right? maybe that's not going, but his bench shows up and 644 is there, maybe 290 kilos is there, and all of a sudden now he just casually snaps off a all-time world record bench press at his first PA meet ever. Right? Like there's little things we've talked about, but we're going to go in there and we're going to have fun. We're going to feel out the environment. We're going to explore all 4 walls of our first PA meet. And if we feel ourselves and feel that stage and you and Kevin and everybody brings the energy, we'll see what happens.
I love it too when you say like the cheeky messaging is always amazing because people take storylines like, to your point, the 95% of the world record, or what did Jesus total at last Worlds? You go a little over that and it's like, wow, what would have happened if we were there? It obviously you have to be there, things change, but the point is it gets people talking. It gets people like, oh wow, you can't skate with just this total.
And it's PA now. It's the IPF affiliate. Now it's like, well, if it was a USAPL, like maybe if it was in PA, it'd be more recognized. It's like, okay, what are you gonna say now? Right? Like
we're here now.
We just went 9 for 9. It's like that's what he says. Like go for it. We went 9 for 9. We're just very successful here. So, you want to talk about it?
A conversation too, because Jesus, while at Sheffield is amazing because they pace for lifts, like the big lifts, because the flight is bigger. And they do everything they can at Sheffield to have everybody like hit PRs and extend world records, etc. Yeah. But the World Championship, it's on Eurosport, great reach of millions of people because Eurosport's their equivalent of in America like CBS Sports or whatever the heck. Great, but the flight is shorter and a massive turnaround. It's so quick. Even the rest in between the sessions, bench to squat to deadlift, is abbreviated. People have come on King of Lifts talking about how quick the flight is for big people. Like Rondell's a 120, and Rondell's like, my God, I felt like I stopped squatting, was still sweating, and they're like, all right, let's go. You're already ready for the bench press. Like you're already a very quick turnaround. Are you gentlemen somewhat catching up on or training to a possible quick turnaround and acclimatizing yourself to this when these showdowns happen? Because it's nipped Jesus. It's brought Jesus's total down. And if it doesn't bring down your total and you're ready for it, that could be the difference.
I will say it's nice to have a coach who's a software engineer and he has built something for me to be ready for that.
I mean, we got an accountant and a freaking software engineer, and this is powerlifting for you, right? This is.
It's fun having a coach like that, and I mean, he can talk about it if he wants, but he's built the web-based app, BarPath, and after nationals, that was the first thing I called him. Like I'm driving back home, I'm calling him like, hey, you should create a meet timer. Because I was thinking about that, like literally thinking about it. I'm like, hey, you should create a meet timer for when I get to Rising Tide, for when nationals, for when worlds, I can practice to that decorum of having 8 people in the flight. Okay, how do I warm up before I squat? How do I warm up? How do I warm up for bench after squat? Like how long do I have to wait between, like obviously you'll still have the ladies still finishing off their finishing touches, but it's like, 8 people in the flight, this is how long you got to warm up before squat. You got this 10-minute break and then bench. You got this 5-minute break, then deadlift. So it's like having a software engineer as a coach, he can kind of build what I need to be ready for that.
And I've had some good experience with, like, for instance, abs, right? I have 2 abs belts with Zach Myers, right? And that was, he from his first squat to his last deadlift was 2 hours and 12 minutes. And it was fast because people
that's freaking fast.
It was very fast. So for me to like help him with that and get him through that, and then we still program SBD days, and we do them in different modes. So like we're not unfamiliar with doing doing 9 lifts worth of work 12 lifts worth of work, really. Let's think about it. But like we're talking about last warm-ups, but in about 3 hours, right? So, and we'll keep that pace. Again, he's an athlete. I mean, you look at his size. Like I prescribe him Bulgarian split squats and Cossack squats, and he can do them unassisted, right? He's an athlete. Like he's an athlete, and he will rise to that occasion. I mean, he played football for 60 minutes, 70 plays a game, just hammering it, right? Like he's an All-American, football player, and All-American cheerleader. Like he's got the juice, right? He's got that thing, that all great, athletes have today. Like you look at Cranon and Perk and like all these other people that like that, they all share this, like this gumption, if you will. Like, it's like, yeah, they got it. And yeah, his total will come down. But the thing is I recognize as a coach that that's not going to be something I'm accustomed to in terms of that environment. But that's why we have team coaches, right? If he makes it, the first thing I'm going to do is reach out to the team coach and be like, okay, what do we got to do so that I can turn him over to you? Because that's not my element. I'm going to observe the first time around, but I need to work with you to make sure that he's successful as possible. What do we need to do? And because I'm not going to step on anyone's toes. I'm not going to be a guy, well, he's my client. I'm just going to, do that. Like we have team coaches, right? For USA, there's a dedicated group of coaches. Like I want to make sure he's prepared to present as the team, but also those coaches can help assist because they have knowledge that I simply just don't have. I've never been there. So
I love how fucking humble you are. I can't believe like how many people get into it with national team coaches, etc. And like your approach, it's freaking refreshing hearing someone come on here and be like, I haven't done this before. I'm gonna hand them off to you. It's crazy.
I'm gonna pat him on the back. I'm gonna make sure he warms up great.
Yeah.
But, like I'm gonna have I've already started thinking about what attempts I would give him at Worlds. I'm like, hey, we're gonna open up with last warm-ups because you're good enough to win off 3 lifts. So I need three good cracks. It's going to be a tough environment. I've seen it, and sometimes you don't get a choice. You can lift to the best of your ability and you still get the jury overturn it. We saw a couple of that this year. And you know what? That's unfortunate, but we're not going to leave that to chance, right? And I'm going to pull out every stop to see that he sees a gold medal around his neck. And I just honestly personally want to see them try to reach up and like put it over his big neck and stuff because I see that a little bit because it's just going to be a struggle for them. But it's one of those things, right? It's like I've got to where I am because I have stood on the shoulders of giants and I have learned and I've grown from other people. So why wouldn't I use that? Right.
First off, my man, I cannot picture you being a cheerleader. What are you just like, what were you doing as a cheerleader? You're the person tossing people around.
Yeah, I was the one tossing the girls up in the air in baskets and stuff. I did a little bit of jumping. I didn't jump much, but I did a toe touch here and there. So,
okay. So are you one of those guys? I saw one time Ray Williams, peak Ray Williams doing the agility ladder. He's a football background as well. Coaching and whatnot. And it would shock and like pull ups the whole nine. Like as a big man, his agility and ability. And obviously, if you're a top flight doing these kind of things, like, are you one of those guys? What kind of a freak athlete are we talking about here?
Well, I was All-American in football. Like I was like,
that's crazy alone. That American football is extremely competitive. You were an All-American.
Yeah, I was All-American in football. So it's like I'm a pretty good athlete. Like if you told me if you said do this and you showed me how to do it, there's a good chance I'll be able to do it. It's
a legitimate problem in pickleball. Like we'll play pickleball outside of like the gym because we do a lot of outside the gym stuff. We'll go play pickleball and he's a legitimate problem. He moves like I'll put him on a team with like our buddy Noah and like he'll I'm like, you don't move like a 200 plus kilo person at all.
Crazy, man. I'm glad we got you. I'm glad powerlifting found you. I can only imagine. I heard about the Olympic U.S. national team trying to freaking poach our athletes, reaching out. And this is what I've heard. I don't know for a fact, but reaching out to powerlifters and trying to coax them into doing the Olympic lifts.
Oh yeah, I got people at my gym. I got people at my gym. Yeah. I got people at my gym. We got a big ollie lifting session. They're trying to get me to do ollie lifting. I think we actually have a girl who actually was on the U.S. national team. And they're trying to get me into ollie lifting. Like Greeno will tell you this. Like I think the best lifter ever, like hands down, when you talking pound for pound anything, I think the best lifter ever is Mark Henry. He did Olympic lifting. He was on Team USA Olympic lifting. He can do powerlifting, and like the biggest thing, the reason why I say he is one of the best, probably the best ever, is because he put his job on the line to go win a strongman title. And he did just that. And not only did he win, he did stuff that nobody else could do at the time. So like I look at like somebody like Mark Henry, and it's like that's like the standard of just being an athlete. Like to do all three strength sports, right? You're talking lifting, powerlifting, and strongman, and be the best at all of it. You can't beat that.
First off, you are a student of the game, sir. The fact that you're pulling out names like Mark Henry. Let's chill here for a second because I'm a huge Mark Henry guy. Mark Henry at one point had the world record for tested total, absolutely phenomenal. Won at the time before the IPF was Raw, there was the World Drug Free Powerlifting Federation, and they were probably the biggest global federation with the world championships on the tested side. And Mark Henry won it. He had the biggest tested total in powerlifting. At the same time, two-time Olympian for obviously Team USA in Olympic weightlifting, Pan Am Games, gold medalist, I believe, like phenomenal Olympic lifter. And then at the same time, to your point, the inaugural Arnold Classic Strongman champion, where they did the Arnold Classic Strongman and brought over all of the best strongmen in the world, including the reigning World's Strongest Man champion for that time. And they faced off, and Mark Henry beat all of them in strongman. Just throwing his hat in the ring like, hey, this is cool. Let me try this out. Mark Henry beating like in all three sports, doing what he's potentially the greatest strength athlete, period, in terms of his resume and what he did.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that WWE came calling and, he became like a household name and God knows money, fame, whatever the heck. And he went that pathway because it was there for him. So we somewhat missed out, he gallivanted off. But with what he achieved in three different sports, at that level, two-time Olympian, the biggest total at the time for powerlifting, and then defeating every single strongman alive in the very first Arnold Classic. Freaking Mark Henry's, in terms of the all-time greats, he's up there.
Oh, yeah.
He's up there.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the best wrestlers, too. Like, there's well-documented, like, interviews with wrestlers of that time said that they preferred to work with Mark because he was so strong that they felt safe. So when they had to take like a particular bump or something to that effect, they knew Mark was strong enough to keep them safe. We're talking about 300-pound men, 240, 270-pound men feeling safe in the arms of another person, right? Because that's like one of the biggest things. And that's a crazy statement in itself. Imagine Undertaker saying, you know what? I really like working with this guy because I feel safe.
Well, like if you're the size of the Undertaker and you're getting picked up and someone's got to pick you up, turn you around, slam you, whatever, the biggest fear is if you're the Undertaker size is like, if you can't hold me properly, you drop me or I come down quicker than you, too fast, too much momentum, too much. You need control, but I am huge. And I'm literally, I have to let you do this. I have to let you pick me up, turn around, I'm head facing down. And how many times have we heard about wrestlers and the compression on their necks and concussions, whatnot, because with all the momentum and all that body weight flying, they can't be controlled. So if you have the strongest man of all time picking you up and holding you, it's like, I'm going to feel a lot better. I should be relatively controlled. It makes sense completely. Dude, I love that you said Mark Henry. So are you really like, you've totally taken to strength sports and become a student of the game, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've done my research. I've looked into people like the thing is like you got to get away from social media. Like social media only show the top 1% of the 1%. Like you really need to take time. Like we have these avenues. We have open powerlifting. We have my coach's stuff, bar path. Like you have all these things where you can just go and do research. Like the latest research I did, and I was telling Greeno about this was I know there's an Advances Houston meet and I love the concept of Advances Houston. I just don't like it because you don't see no super heavies. Like it's just all 83, 93s because obviously they're going the formula tends to bias the normal weight class of a man. Like 83, 93, most men just weigh that, right? So it's like I took the Rising Tide 12 and I took the known lifters from Advances Houston in the tonnage at Rising Tide is going to be more. And I also took away my weight and I took away I think it's who's the sixth Evan Hawk because I think Advances Houston only has 10. And like I'm an accountant, so like I use Excel obviously. So it's like I took the Advances Houston. I think the only thing Advances Houston don't have is that wild card. And even if you were to put Jesus in as that wild card, the tonnage spread will be less than 2%. So it's I do research just because it's my job, but also it's like it's fun. Like if you're going to do something, know about it. Like why won't you know about it? Like like don't go in truly clueless, right? Like I might not know names or I might not know faces, but I'm gonna know enough to be able to sit here and have a conversation that's intellectual.
You know names, man. You dropped quite a few.
Oh
And
yeah,
you know your
I
style.
know a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, you know a little bit. And what's cool about it too is the lineage. When you know the history of it, like
Oh yeah,
from Mark Henry to the Ray Williams, Blaine Sumner's, Jesus Olivares to yourself. There's a lineage of greatness. It's
oh
cool
yeah,
to be like in a year or two you could be in that lineage. People
oh
will
yeah.
like that's it. It's done. Once you win a world title or you win a major showdown, etc. The lineage is set. You're part of history. These names. Eventually, people are going to talk to you about you the same way. So it's cool to like know your history and dive into it and realize it. It gives a little bit of perspective. Gentlemen, do you want to take a 2-minute break? I gotta take a pee break for a second here, and then
Okay.
let's come back and let's talk about the training and a little bit of a peek behind the curtain because Greeno, you had mentioned it's intrigued me. I was talking to Colton when I had him on the podcast, and he trains like a super heavyweight as well. One squat session a week. Some people do more. Like heavyweights, I'm used to hearing this. Colton, not a heavyweight, and he trains like a heavyweight, but he's got heavyweight numbers. But I want to hear about the frequency, the weightage, and some of these other things that you are doing, bringing back the West Side style. That's intriguing, and I think people are going to talk about it. So let's take a peek behind the curtain. But first, quick 2-minute pee break, gentlemen.
Sweet.
Perfect.
All right. All right. So I am honestly intrigued with the training aspect of this. So Greeno, I'm glad you're on here. Let's talk about it. How does this training look like? How do you build a monster like Lou?
So this was honestly, again, when we started, like him and I were training partners and stuff, and he was just kind of doing stuff. And he'd ask me about his program and stuff. And I'm like, it makes sense. Like he's a numbers guy. He understands it. He's an athlete. I'm like, yeah, you're moving good. Like, his kind of like 5-3-1 style linear periodization stuff. I was like, yeah, ain't broke, don't fix it. Like I'm here. Your squat looks good. But it really wasn't till after his first meet, like from a coaching standpoint, that I really, really, really started to kind of dig in on him because I want to see what he could do. Right. And he has the typical big guy problems, right? Levers on deadlift are hard, but he's blessed with hip mobility of just it's immaculate. But when it came to like his, and you see it with Jesus as well, it's the pattern of the thoracic collapse, right? They come out of the hole and they're just elbows shoot up, thoracic caves, ribs just go straight down into the inside of their stomach. He was no different. And that's probably the kind of the key to his problem is that sometimes. So, I come from a single ply background. Most of my stuff my biggest numbers personally are single ply. My partner is a Westside barbell board holder. I grew up around big iron and some big people in those areas when I'm up here in Kansas City, the wrapped environment. But also at the same time, like I'm also a child of I evolved into the raw space and stuff. And I worked with a number of really big names. And the one thing is it's all about risk reward. And that's what predicates my training, is that when you work on the untested side, there are timings and there are understandings of how you evolve a lifter. And so you have to put them under loads and under training stimulus that gives them a way to feel heavy weight without inducing the volatility. You can't put them under an SBD day multiple days a week and do hyper specificity, because the reality of it is sometimes there's diminishing returns on that. Now, for Devonte being like a child in this sport, we did exactly the opposite of that. So when I took him, it's like, okay, we're going to help you work in a skill specific manner, but I'm going to attack those specific things. Well, we know that an SSB does just that. And a lot of people don't understand, like also like a cambered bar. A cambered bar is literally the most diagnostic tool that you can use in the sport of powerlifting. And the reason why that is because when you look at a squat, what is the number one priority in a squat? The number one priority that we do is center of mass. If you always have a center of mass on that bar, and you are always pushing from a place of power, and that bar is always within your center of mass, you will never fail because of technique. You will always fail because of strength. And that's where you want to fail, right? Cambered bar, if you get out ahead, it lets you know that you're wrong. You're out of your center of mass. If you're too far back, you're out of your center of mass. The bar talks to you. It cues you. SSB is the same way. It talks to you when you're lifting. So I put him under those things. And I put him into those spaces like, hey, I can only tell you so much, but feel the movement, feel yourself, work in your time and space, right? And he got to that point, and we ended up pushing like 10-14 for a double with an SSB. Like he got good with it. And that was the point of it, was to get good with it. And one of the things like Westside method fail and stuff is because they work too generally. They're always rotating. It's constantly varied. Conjugates that way. Linear periodization solves that when you take some of the best methods of these things and you meld it together, right? It's like, okay, we want to get good at this, but we want to use those specialty bars. We want it to talk to us. We want it to speak to us. Using load management and stuff. It's like, hey, I still need to push heavy, but how do I do this? So you use accommodating resistance and use bands. I do a lot of training with him. I use a lot of bands on his things to condition his hook grip. Like if, as he was getting used to hook grip and things like that, we would use bands so that he could feel the heavier weight at the top and kind of work through that top end. You need to be patient. Your grip might slip, etc. And again, these are all just like premises that we did. But like the last prep we did, we benched 5 days a week. Why? Because it felt good to move, right? He felt good. He speaks to me. He talks to me. And like we squat multiple times a week, one day. And while people don't understand also, we work incredibly submax. He might go, we do like 700 for volume, right? We stay in the 300s, sub 360 area, and we do a lot of sets of 4, a lot of sets of 5. We feel the movement, a lot of ascending work where I kind of have this method in my head where it's like, we don't ever take our best work first. So rarely will you ever see, and I actually put some videos out on this, but never in the history of powerlifting do we, unless you're just really bad at powerlifting, do you take your heaviest set on your first attempt. So what's the point of doing top set down? What's the point? Why wouldn't you do ascending work when you know that your best work has to come on a third attempt or a second attempt? We're usually 3 or 4 sets in before we do our best work, right? So why don't you just bake that into your training philosophy, right? Why don't you properly warm up, properly feel well oiled? And as a coach, I want to make sure that he's like that, right? I put those guardrails on him where I'm like, hey, we're gonna do 5 sets of 4 today, and it's all ascending. You'll start here and you'll end here, right? And then somewhere in between those last couple of sets, you're going to see his top set, right? And you're going to see him move the best. And we do that a couple times a week. Then we work skill work, right? Like the other day, we may do SSB, pause work, and just kind of him feeling the movement. I'm like, hey, stress your range of motion. Because a lot of people, he's a big guy. He's hard to judge. And a lot of people is like, okay, cool. Like he squats high. I let him squat high. There's times I just let him squat high. It's like, I need him bouncy. I need him to hit his like stroke. And sometimes his hips are tight. It's okay. Like, I need him to know his command of depth. But it's like, yeah, that's good. That's good for the day, right? It's not, you can tell when he's hitting his stroke, and that's a part of the thing you'll hear. I'll say a lot is people need to hit a natural pattern, and you see when people are kind of squatting out of the pocket, and that's where injuries happen, and that's a very dangerous place to be when you're a person of his capability. When he starts seeing him forcing weight and squatting out of pattern for that day, it gets scary. So we just accept those things. We accept those variables. So
Ryan, you want to hear a funny story, right? So I think the first time so me and him talk, but like the first time I really just took like what he's saying, I took very serious was, I think one day we were working up to like maybe like a 950 single. And like I'm just messing around, and then we had 804 in the bar. You remember this, Greeno?
Mm-hmm.
And I go to squat, and I legit lose everything, misgroove everything. I fall into the rack,
oh God,
like this, and come back up. And then he looked at me. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "You're right." I'm like, "You're right. I'm playing around. Let me stop playing around." And like, I'll let him keep talking, but like that was the moment. And this was like super early. This is like in prep for my first meet where I was like, oh, I get what he's saying by once you get to a certain weight, like obviously like 595, 600, I can kind of joke around with, still need to take it serious. But once you get to that moment of, okay, you need to find your depth, find your stroke, take it serious. And when that happened, I looked around the gym. People were like actually afraid. And I was like, okay, I need to take anything over maybe like 70% serious, because it was scary. Like you think about somebody with 804 pounds on their back, leaning forward, falling into the rack.
yeah.
Like when you squat, you don't squat with the what those called, the safety racks. So it's like, it was scary. I fixed myself and got it up, but it's like kind of to what he's saying is like, we have to take everything serious, even if we're working in the sub max. Like the secret to squatting heavy isn't squatting heavy all the time. And I know there's this old saying is, if you want to get stronger, lift a lot of weight less. If you want to get toner or whatever, lift less weight more. But it's like, I haven't squatted over 900 since nationals. That was 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. I'm not taking over 900 until tomorrow. And it's like, you might be thinking like, why don't you do it every week? There's no point when I can do things like, I think I give you an example. Squat we might go 750 for 4, 804 for 4, 860 for 4, and then we do the 860 twice for 4. That's all I need. That's all the stimulus I need for whatever we're working on, right? And that might not even be on a power bar. Like I haven't used the power bar since nationals. Like I've been using straight squat bar, straight SSB bar. We have like a lot of powerlifting gym have these tools, right? Because you have SSB bar, camber bar, deadlift bar. You have the Swiss bar for bench. Like you have all these bars at your disposal. But when you look at the IPF, right? Because he's coached untested. I see a lot of untested people. They use everything to their disposal. But when you look at the IPF, you only see people using, I got to use the Alico bar. I got to use the Alico rack. It's like, no. Like one thing I like to do is I'll go squat out of a Ghost rack. I'll go squat out of a TSS rack. I'll go squat out of the ER, which I think is the best rack you can ever have, is an ER rack. There's like, when I squat with chains, I squat out of a monolift. So it's like, you have all these things at your disposal, but why are you limiting yourself to this one thing and wondering why you're hitting super long plateaus, super long stalls, in your training when you can just maybe switch the bar for a block, right? Like a lot of people use blocks, right? For a block, use SSB. You're going to you're going to love the SSB. Then you're going to want to do it for another block and see how far you want to take that. So like, I'll let him continue talking, but it's like having all these things at my disposal without having to do 1,000 pounds every week, having to do 1,000-pound double. When we did that 1,000-pound double, I had only touched 1,000 once. I did that 1,000-pound double in December last year. The only time I touched 1,000 before that was at my meet.
Wow.
So it's like you might, and it's mind blowing, right? But it's like you can get stronger not doing it the way everybody else does it.
Yeah, and in meet prep, there is no getting stronger. There's only expressing strength and learning how to express it in a safe, coordinated manner. You know, like when he was learning the deadlift, like I'm pretty sure like when we were teaching him how to deadlift for the first time, like he like manhandled 585, double overhand, no hook, just grabbed it, picked it up. But then like we taught him on a deadlift bar. And the reason why we taught him on a deadlift bar is because it bends. You can learn tension. You can learn slack pull. You can learn thoracic extension because the bar talks to you, right? Kabuki bars are well known for that. Like they're great. Like the thing about, even though they're banned in most places, well, minus Russia and other places, but they are great for the gym at teaching someone how to sumo deadlift and to learn tension and learn the wedge, because that bar will start to bend with 120 kilos on it. So it'll talk to you, right? And again, you hear me talk about the cambered bar. It's SSB. Like I have him on a squat bar because I was like, oh, are you guys worried about the new Alico bar because it's really like whippy compared to the original? I go, we squat on a Texas squat bar. That thing flops around like a fish. Right?
Ryan, we got stories, man. I think another story that's hilarious was I think we were supposed to take like a 960 single. I think it was that same day I messed up on 804 and I'm squatting and he looks at the bar. He's like, "Are you know what type of bar this is?" I was like, "Yeah, squat bar." It was a West Side Bulldog bar. Like
it's a big multiply bar that like it's made for like 1,900 pounds. God. He's like, it felt stable. It felt great. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna feel great. It's gonna bend with anything less than 1,500 pounds, right?
And kind of to what my coach said about me being an infant, like those are the things I go through where like it's not like a bad thing, but it's like I go through moments where I'm still learning how to even powerlift, even learning how to do what I need to do. So like, and I'll let them keep talking, but it's like those, like we have stories where it's just like yeah, like why rush to the IPF when I have stories of me toppling over on 804, him telling me use a Texas squat bar and I use the Texas Bulldog bar. Like we have moments like that where it's like if you really like dove deep into powerlifting and learned how to lift, like you don't just play basketball.
Yeah.
Like you don't just play, you go through phases of learning how to do it. You don't just play soccer. Like, I mean, football, depending on what part of the country you're at, you know.
Right.
So to kind of give you an idea of like what like his week looks like this week, we're going to be 4 weeks out. So we're going to go through a little ramp up period, right? So his week is going to, he has a SBD day on Monday where that's our squat emphasis and our bench emphasis. That's our heavy day. So I'm going to have him just hammer a heavy day. We're going to prioritize a squat this week, and he'll have him go up to probably, I don't know, opener territory, 440 kilos, probably depending on how he feels, and then bench and then deadlift, right? But then we have some accessory days, et cetera, right? Like he moves and I want him to move and I want him to feel fluid. So we have dedicated accessory days, but we're still going to, do different things. We're still going to bench a little bit. But then like his technical day, it's going to focus more on deadlift. We'll use an SSB, but then like, I'm also going to condition his bench, right? So I am doing like sets of 4 with a slingshot, right? I want to feel heavy weight. I want his
slingshots too, man. This is fascinating. You guys don't understand. People are going to listen to this podcast. It's the more you know, the less you know. It's like every couple of years, people come around and change everything you thought. Everybody's like, this is the way we do it. This is the, And then guys like you come around like, rethink it.
What if I told you the reason why Perk is dominant is the way he is because he came up in a single ply system?
Maybe. Yeah, talk to me.
He was a kid. Was he not? Was he not a child of the Texas powerlifting single ply system? Did he not do single ply at Midland, the greatest, one of the greatest powerlifting colleges? He was good, but his roots were in using things that, because the thing about single ply is it is raw powerlifting. That what people don't understand is single ply is raw powerlifting in every sense, but perfected. You have to have perfect technique or it will eat you alive. That's the thing about it. And like, me and Heidi are really close with Ed Cohn, and he's such a great guy, but like, when you look at his technique and you look at how he was in that era of single ply lifters and stuff, in how proficient, even the Russians like Andrei Belev and things like that, just how insanely proficient they were as a lifter. When they transitioned over to raw, like a lot of the Eastern Europeans, when they transition over to raw, they're just impeccable looking. And it's because they understand what super maximal weight feels like. They know they can reel in, hey, this feels impossible. There's this concept of feeling weight on your back that does not feel doable. And in raw powerlifting, few get to that point. Everything feels doable because it's raw. It's within our capability. It's within our wheelhouse. Try having a 300 kilo raw squat, but then having a 400 kilo suited squat, and you got to walk that out. There's nothing about that. And I told this to Devonte because it got coined everywhere, but I told him when he squatted the 1014, but also at the all-time world record, I told him, said, nothing about this is going to feel good.
I love that, by the way.
Nothing about this. So tailor your expectations, prepare yourself accordingly, because you're about to get into a knockdown drag out fight with a trash compactor. Like, it's just going to get bad and it's going to feel not possible. You're going to unrack it and you're going to hope like, oh, yep, just bite the lip and go. Like it's all commitment. It's all belief. You've done things before. And, so when we talk about the slingshot and the chains and using a squat bar and specialty bars, these are all meant to be in service of either putting more weight on the bar or reducing the risk, or, with a slingshot, he's damn near a 300 kilo lifter on bench, all-time world record caliber pretty much in full power. He has to feel scary things. And I can put him underweight and I'll have sets of five sets of 4 with 300 kilos, right? Like, this is weight that he'll never touch in the meet, but it will not scare him because I can sit here and tell him, hey, there's nothing on that bar you have not felt a lot of. You're going to know what it feels like. He went to, we have a supplement store here in the city, and they're pretty big and they're expanding everywhere. And they have like their big barbecue, and he was like celebrated last weekend. Everybody came by, our gym had a booth and stuff like that. And, we haven't really done it. I told him, hey, do a top double. And he like wrapped off 605 for a double. Yeah. I haven't had him over 600 in like months since the meet.
Nationals.
Since Nationals. And he just like breaks off 605 for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we haven't done it doesn't mean it's not there. And the reality of it is this is all in service, because I could go over the program minutia, but the thing is it's all in service of his neurological coordination. It's like Olympic lifting, right? It's not that you're not strong enough. It's that you just don't have the coordination. He's an athlete. He coordinates and adapts incredibly well. I don't got to expose him to that. I just need a little bit of ramp up time to make sure he stays safe. So that's what I'm going to do over the next couple of weeks is I'm going to make sure he ramps up and that the check marks are checked, that he just feels proficient, and we're good. That's it. I just give him what he needs, but then I give him things like this, and I use these tools because they're very, 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 very simple in nature. They're easy to execute. Every powerlifting gym has them pretty much. And you're using a really good tool for a specific job. So we're still caught, and that's part of the sport. We're still very much so caught in just using a traditional hammer instead of a nail gun.
My
Right.
man, you know how many people, after hearing this podcast, are going to start thinking about SSB bars, slingshots? Like, you don't see this kind of stuff.
Send them my way.
Yeah, it's
Jump in my DMs. I got you. I'll tell you everything you need to know.
so. How often, like how many days a week? Because I heard you say, what was it 4 to 5 bench sessions a week, which for a big man is mind-boggling. How many times a week does he squat, deadlift, and bench press? Like obviously you'll change by the block, but this is entirely different than I would have suspected.
Squat twice. We do an intensity day, which will be like our ascending work. That'll be up to, a lot of times we spend a lot of times in that 750 to 850 range when it comes to like the peak of the block. But we're going to do volume there. And then the second one's no more than like 50-60%, but we're doing technique works. We're doing pause squats. We're doing things like that a couple days a week. Right. It very much so is it's just move, feel the time and space, right? Feel the movement, feel the proficiency of it. Endurance, right? Like a lot of the accessories I have him do, it's not for hypertrophy. It's not for building. It's for neuromuscular conditioning. I need him to just exert force on a movement that's relatively challenging for a minute straight. I need him to be conditioned. I need him to be an athlete. It's like doing sprints in football, right? You got to make sure that you can at least do 10 40-yard sprints, right? Right? You got to make sure you can do more than that, right? The conditioning part of it is very much so just a prerequisite, just so that you can do the primaries. So when it comes to the accessories and stuff, they're very, there are some building things for different, but for like restorative movement, I'm not a clinician, but physical therapy side of things, make sure that he's even, he doesn't have imbalances and things like that. But then his primary movements, they're all meant to kind of serve as checkpoints and proficiency. His competition squats very pointed. We may have 4 sets of 4 if we're kind of in the heart of just kind of building work capacity and volume. But for the most part, when he's benching 5 days a week, he has like one heavy day, but then like we rotate, just put him through all kinds of different things. I'll have him do long pause bench, maybe spoto press, maybe close grip work. It just depends on what his body's telling me and how he's talking. And we ran that for like 8 weeks, and went from a 5-day split. Then we get closer to the meet. We run a 4-day split. Right. And then we maybe remove a couple days and stuff. And then I'll have him do dynamic effort bench, because he also uses a velocity meter and we use that as checkpoints and stuff. But like I use kind of a 2-front system on velocity training, as I look at that and I compare it to his RPE and it gives me a new value, right? It's like I have this absolution thing. It's like when he hit 1056, what was like his second to the last one, it was at like 0.48, which is technically for most people's like speed zone. But like, so we use, I just kind of, I've always been a person just uses my tools. I'm an engineer, right? I'm an engineer. I know the power of using the right tools. Like I'm an engineering manager at that. Like when I have some of my people not using the tools at their disposal to make themselves be more effective and min-max their capabilities, especially in this AI age, that's a punishable offense. You're not doing all you can to be the best you can.
Okay.
And that's just my opinion on it, right? So these might seem like old things, but there's at the end of the day, Louis was right about a lot of things. And there was just a real lot of, they're back in the 2010s. And like, you can probably remember some of the articles. I think Dan Green put one out. It's like why West Side doesn't work. And they started like, came out. And it was like, Louis was very much so right about a lot of things. And there was a lot of young kids and young bucks that came out, and it was raw and it wasn't geared and stuff like that. It's like, we have our new system. This is the progression of it. And now people are coming back around as they get older and they're realizing, oh, that wasn't far off, right? You start seeing Mike Tuchscherer, he starts using weight releasers and different things like that. And then he starts talking. He's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, you guys are getting it, aren't you? Starting to see. Belt squat marches are kind of a really cool thing for external rotation of the hip, isn't it? You know, you got weak hips, and all of a sudden you got everybody just looking like they're doing the Macarena on a belt squat with 400 pounds.
Right? Yeah. And so how many times does he deadlift?
Honestly, we deadlift once a week, but it's very pointed. I don't have him do volume. I have him do doubles and singles. I need the 1 rep. It's our challenge. So we have a thing that says 380 makes him invincible. If he pulls 380 and he's capable of 380 off the cuff, good luck. That's our checkmate moment. Because he's capable of going 480, 490, and going 290, 240, or 290, 285, 365. Now we're talking about 2,600.
What's that in kilos?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. We're talking about 1080. Yeah. 2,600, whatever it would be. Was it just under 1,200?
Holy shit.
You have to understand, like, the thing is we were so if he would have pulled his last deadlift at USAPL Nationals, we would have been within 5 or 7 kilos of the actual record, of the total record
Of Jesus.
Yeah.
You guys are very close. And he's pulled 365 before.
It was no, he hasn't. Let's great. He ain't ever pulled that before. It was a hit. And I had to talk to my judges who gave him that list. I'm like, no, there's absolutely not. But unfortunately, can't change it. But like,
what do you mean? Sorry, because I seen it when I was open powerlifting. I didn't see the actual video. What do you mean?
Well, watch the lift. It was a total gift. Like we did what was it, Devonte? 350. Was it 350? Just right under, like 777. And then it was like, hey, this third attempt. He already had a great day. It was amazing. It was his first meet ever. And then he pulls 804 and he hitches it up. And I don't know what happened with the judges. And they just like got 2-1. Or like, I'm like, no. He had a perfect day. And you're going to give him a really bad deadlift. And it's a local meet, like, mistake. It happens. Judges, like, that's the reason why you don't do world records at local meets, right? Because things like that can happen. And it was a total gift. And so I don't ever credit him with an 800-pound pull. He's got a 788. That's what he's got.
Fair enough. Dude, you guys are extremely humble. It's crazy the opposite of sometimes what we're used to. But yeah, I think honestly, it's fascinating your guys' approach to training and how different it is. I'm wondering, so is this do you think more benefit for somebody like super heavyweights, or do you think this would be benefit to people of all different weight classes?
I mean, the all-time world record holder for 242 women, Kirsten Skurlock, ran this program. Brittany Chown is another really large lifter. Like, she's a drug tested lifter, pulls over 225, 230 kilos. She's a really, she's got 550 kilo total, drug tested. Heidi, my partner, she runs a system very similar to this, and she's a little 75 kilo female who does amazing well, has a 565 dots. I have David Raymond, who's another 75 kilo. Arguably, David Raymond's probably one of the strongest 60. He's probably the strongest 65 kilo or 75 kilo as untested. He runs systems like this. It's transposable across the entire thing. The key to it is that it comes out of necessity of controlling the risk and the volatility of untested lifters. The people who benefit the most are the tested lifters. Because again, I said untested lifters require a lot of care, because I'm going to say something that's probably going to be really polarizing. I'm going to cut it back. Actually, they don't possess real strength year round. They don't. There's about a 6-week window where their strength becomes hyper maximal and their capabilities increase because of their untested nature, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's polarizing. I think that's pretty Yeah, if you're on PEDs, for sure, you're going to have windows. It won't be straight across the board, day over day, week after week, over the course of a year. It's going to be all over the place due to the nature of it. Yeah, you must have to cater the training to that.
Yep, and you have to hit timings.
Right.
I can't take an untested lifter who's capable of squatting 455 kilos and expect them to hit that at the beginning of prep. I have to get them and travel them to that point, to a strategic point. Devonte is really no different, except he doesn't have that. I still have to condition his nerves and the things like that. But at the end of the day, like, untested lifters are not as predictable. Tested lifters are extremely predictable. So all I have to do is it's a different time window, but it works incredibly well for the bigger guys, right? That's why, like, I have a really large contingent of bigger 120 plussers who are incredibly effective, because they have to have, again, he's a big guy. You'll see him, like, you're like, how do you get under a power bar? You know, that's going to eat hit. Like, because the thing is, we are in the sport of three lifts, bench, squat, deadlift. We are not in the business of squat. We're not in the business of deadlift, right? So I'm going to put him on a power bar for 3 or 4 weeks, destroy his elbows, destroy his upper back, and then debilitate his bench, which is a treasure in its own right. Why would I do that? He's a 9 lift lifter, and I'm going to bring a 9 lift lifter to the meet. I'm going to bring a power lifter, right? I'm going to bring 9 lifts. I'm not going to bring 5.5, right? I'm not going to have him go, well, he's just been nursing my pec and things like that. No, like, we're going to go in this off season. We're going to attack his deadlift because we want 380, right? And because the other two, we focused really hard on it, right? That's what we focused on really hard in the last year, 18 months, is his first two. Because I'll be honest with you, and he'll tell you this as well, like, our plan was just to go after the squat record. We weren't looking at anything else. We weren't looking at competition or anything like that until that was done, because we knew we needed to be that type of guy in order to go against Jesus. If we're going to take this to the level, we got to come at it from our strength. And if we can do 500 kilos, we can do 490, 485, and we can put a bench to match suit. Now we're sitting here infringing on the strong point of Jesus, his deadlift, right? We start taking up space in his area that's supposed to be his bread and butter, right? But also at the same time, it's also his, like, Achilles heel. So we can just be the model of consistency and just stay in the pocket based off our strengths and just hone that like a fine blade. And all we have to do is just kind of sit back in the pocket and see what he's capable of when it comes to the last 3 lifts of the day.
I can't wait to I can't wait to see the inevitable clash.
I'm gonna give you your clickbait, right? I'm gonna give you the clip, right?
Thank you. Here we go.
I'll tell you right now, if I squat anything under 490, Jesus will win. Anything over 490, I win. And I don't mean this in a cocky way. It's just, if you break it down, right? If you sit in maybe the Joy Flex and Jesus shoes, you look at it, right? What's Jesus top end squat? 480. Yeah. But if you sit in their shoes, I got the deadlift. Why would I even push 480? I'm gonna push 472, 475. I'm gonna have to chip on squat. So let's say I do 475, I do 490, 490, 490, 495. Bench, I have him by a good 10 to 15, maybe 20, depending on like how prep goes, right? So if I can get a good 40 kilo lead going into deadlift, it's a toss-up, right? Because now I'm forcing him to put something on the bar that maybe he doesn't do. Like, if you watch his training, right, he doesn't really squat and deadlift and bench on the same day. So it's like, how many times can you, how much can you squat and still be able to go to deadlift and pull over 400? because I know, like I do it a lot. I'm gonna do it this week. I can squat my top end and pull my top end deadlift, but how many times can he? So if I can go into squat, if I can leave squats with a 490 plus with a 490 plus squat, the title is mine in my eyes.
Let me ask you, what does the future hold for you, Lou? When all is said and done.
Mm. Honestly, for me, like I want a 500 plus kilo squat. Like bench is cool. Maybe a 300 bench, 400 deadlift. Like I want a 5-3-4 day. If I can get that, oh my god! All right, I did what I wanted to do. Like I showcased my strength in a way that nobody else has done before. Like you have Colton, right? He squats 1,000, benches 6, and pulls 1,000, but a 5-3-4 day, that's unheard of.
Mm.
And if I can do that, I did what I've wanted to in this sport.
Well, it's because we've also been really numb to deadlifts, right? Like
Yeah.
we're pretty numbed because it seems like everybody's pulling 455 plus these days, right? And like you're seeing it in training. Like you have a Derek Thistlewaite's gym down in Imperial. You have Jamal Browner resurfacing. You got Johnny Kaufman down there. You got Nabil popping his head in there, and they're all just slinging lumber when it comes to deadlifts, and they're all just 900s, just absolutely just normal down there. It's like, okay, we become pretty numb to these big deadlifts, but like when you start talking about the squat the other ways, because I think it's weird because I could be wrong, because when he broke the record, Johnny Candido and a number of people was like, hey, why isn't this getting more attention? Right. And it's just like, maybe people only care about deadlifts, I guess, or that only people looking at, but like not really people looking at that big squat. They're looking at that big 500 squat or whatever, but it's kind of that big, collection, we're talking a 1,200 pound total or 1,200 kilo total. Like there's only one other person on the planet that's done that. Right.
Oh, you do. I honestly, if you do this, you come over to the IPF, you do this at the World Championships, you do this at Sheffield, you're going to get that attention. You do 1,200 kilos at Sheffield at some point down the road, my friend, the world stops. When Jesus did 2023 Sheffield, I was listening to MMA podcasts and it was getting brought up. Did you hear about? So to an extent, it's also the platform and the eyeballs watching, and that's coming. You guys are going down that pathway. It only gets bigger and bigger from U.S. Nationals, the clash with Jesus. God bless you. Continue on to Worlds. Everyone's watching. And then you do Sheffield. It'll be a stadium.
Oh yeah.
History.
Oh yeah. It'll be fun. This is like, I know I've seen a lot of people talking about powerlifting needs to bring back competitiveness and we need rivalries, but it's like, it can be respectful. It can be respectable. Like if you look at other sports, right? Like, they talk to each other outside of the game, right? Like you see Lionel Messi and Ronaldo talking outside of soccer. You see like Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, they're friends like outside of the game. LeBron, Draymond, Steph, KD. Like you have these huge rivalries that when they're not on the court or they're not on the field, they're still friends. They're still like, because even though we are the lifters, we're still fans of it. We're still in it to like I want to go and see, like I want to see Elliot beat Perk. That's my fan moment of seeing Elliot beat Perk. That's my fan moment. So although we are the lifters and we're the clash, we're the rivalry, so to speak, we're still fans. So still being able to see yourself as that is the greatest thing.
When you say you want to see Elliot beat Perk, is it because of the upset when the change?
I think it's because, like, I honestly think like Elliot's in the same spot as me. Like, you really think about it, right? You're the only person that is challenging the top of the mountain. Like, if you look at it, like you look at all the 74s, Perk went in and just demolished him. Jesus went in and demolished. You can say Jesus had a terrible day at Worlds. He won by 50 kilos.
Yeah.
That's a terrible day. I won by 50 kilos. I didn't hit 2 deadlifts. Like I didn't hit a deadlift that I can hit any day I want, and he won by 50 kilos. So like me and Elliot's in this same spot where we are holding, like we're knocking at we're the Trojan horse, right? The Odyssey just came out, right? We're the Trojan horse. We're trying to get in, trying to get in the door and peek out through the horse and just topple down the kingdom, right? So it's like me and Elliot's in the same aspect. So it's like I'm kind of rooting for Elliot because I want to see that. I want to see the upset. Like, yes, dynasties are amazing. It's beautiful, right? But we love seeing the Cavaliers come back from 3-1 and beat the Warriors. We love seeing Michael Jordan retire, but we love seeing the Lakers finally lose. We love seeing the Celtics finally lose. Although we love dynasties, we love seeing that upset. So like, I want to see Elliot beat Perk. Like that's not crazy to say. Like me and him is in the same shoes of being not the underdog, but being somebody capable of winning. We just need to show up and showcase it.
Well, that's what's kind of special about Rising Tide because you guys are both doing it, right? The two number one contenders get to hang out with each other on the same platform. Do you think about the energy and kind of the story about that? It's like Rising Tide's got, you have the two number one contenders just kind of having fun for a meet, getting to talk to each other and stuff. And you kind of gives you a little bit of a glimpse of the future. What's Elliot going to bring? What's Devonte going to bring? Because those Kings got to keep on their game. They don't look like they're slowing down. Perk definitely doesn't look like he's slowing down, but that's because he's got someone like Elliot on his heels. Mm-hmm. Elliot ain't going anywhere, and he talks too.
He talks. He talks.
That boy got rules created for it.
He's a kid. He's a teenager. He's a freaking teenager.
And that's what's beautiful about it. Let the boy cook. Let him say some out-of-pocket stuff. As long as he stays respectful about it, you know what? He's a kid even. Let him get a little bit of disrespectful because eventually life's going to catch up with him and hindsight's going to be, oh, man, I was really bad about that. Let him look dumb a little bit, right? That's good for the sport. Like, let him be a kid. Let him just pop off, right? Because that's only going to make Perk look better. That's only going to make Perk shine because he's going to be like, Let me just put you in your place, kid. Your time will come, but let me just show you. Let me show you the light, right? And Devonte is kind of the same way. Like, we're definitely a little more humble than Jesus. I love Jesus. I'll talk to him every once in a while and stuff because he's just a good dude. He's a new dad, and I'm a dad and stuff. So like, I'll talk to him and stuff like that. And but like again, it's one of those types of things. Like they're number one contenders, right? And that's some energy. That's number one contender energy. That's some of the best energy in all of sport is to have that one waiting to knock down the wall.
It'll be, yeah, for sure. I get it where Elliot's position is relatable to yours, for sure. You're both chasing the Kings, the pound for pound king and the overall alpha king. That status. It's Jesus and it's Perk. So I got it. And, it'll be interesting. So how it feels right now when you're the number one contender and you're chasing, and then if we talk in a year's time and you accomplish what you want to accomplish and become a world champion, how it'll feel then when you're the king and you're defending. And that'll be a different feeling. I mean, you'll only know when you get there, but it'll be interesting. Things change when you're the guy that people are chasing.
Oh, yeah.
There's pressure to that, right? There's a lot of pressure.
100%. 100%.
I think it'll be fun. Like, honestly, like if you really look at it, like Jesus don't have nothing to lose. His legacy is set. I have 6 world titles. I have the most any super heavyweight has done. I've won Sheffield. I've done these things. I have nothing to lose. Now I just have to show y'all that I'm the best. Have to show y'all why I'm the best. So he has nothing to lose. There's no reason for him to go in there and be scared, right? When you think about like underdogs going against a big dog, right? You think like, if you think about sports, you think like pulling out the trick play, the double wide receiver pass, the fumble rooski. You think of things like that. He don't need to pull that out. He can pull that out. He has nothing to lose. What's the worst? I go to U.S. Nationals and I lose because I missed my 3rd deadlift. I can still go to Worlds. I can still go to Sheffield and redeem myself. So like, I think like being at the top is amazing because now when I go to the gym, I have something to lose. I have something like when I'm at the top, if I beat him, right, I'll have something to like if I go underneath the bar and I'm like, man, what's my motivation today? It's I'm at the top and everybody's biting at the bit to get me. Okay, take your deep breath, unrack, and let's get to going.
I think earlier, did I say that Jesus only had 5 going for 6? He has 6 world titles. I'm wrong. Did I say that
Yeah.
earlier?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
But still, I mean, the point kind of still saying yeah, because I think he sealed number 6
Yeah.
because it was super important to his mom, and I think it's like that. So
in history, period. In terms of that beats Ray Williams's. When speaking of these world records and world titles, though, like Ray did 5, Jesus did 6. Do you like get ahead of yourself and start thinking about reigns and dynasties yourself, Lou?
I think what's hard about that is like you can look that far, but what's hard about that is every year to get to Worlds, I have to go against the person that would win. Like we look at Nationals, that's basically Worlds, right? So for me to go to Worlds every year, I have to beat the eventual world champion.
Right.
So it's like I can think like, I'm gonna win 6, 7, 8, but it's like every year I'm gonna have to be on my A game because I beat Jesus. You don't think he's gonna come back like you don't think he's gonna counter that? You don't think he's gonna next time, okay, he hit me with a jab, I'm gonna duck under and hit him with a haymaker? Like, so it's like I can think like, I'm gonna win 6, I can win 7. But just to get there, to be able to win 6 and 7, I'm gonna have to be on my A game against the eventual world champion. If I were to lose to Jesus, he's gonna win the world title. So it's like I always have to be on my A game no matter what, every year, day in, day out.
It's a different era. You're right. Good point. It's better that way for the fans.
Oh, yeah.
Like dynasties are cool, got you. But even better in a dynasty is, like we said, showing up and not knowing who's going to win. And every freaking year, you guys will be a lot more like on the women's side, Sunita and Brittany going back and forth. Hopefully. Oh, God, can you imagine on the men's side, it turns into a Sunita Brittany situation. Any given year goes back and forth. They're the best rivalry in the sport. I would love to see that on the men's side.
And that's why everyone loves it, right? That's why everyone loves that. Like that is by far the best rivalry in the sport, in my opinion, because you have 2 insanely talented people, and they're just, it's coming down to capability. It's coming down to calls, which is unfortunate, but it's, in some cases, but like it ain't for lack of capability because they're both doing stuff people have never done before. And in order to win, you have to do something that's never been done before. And that is insanity. And like, we're talking about long lasting, like impression, like as that number drives up, right? That Sheffield invite is not a cheap thing.
No,
it's not a cheap thing. Now that number gets driven up, and you're talking, you have to potentially have, in freedom units, a 2450 total just to get a, hey, you're invited. Like,
well, here's the problem. Jesus, it's easier for him when there's more lifters in a flight. He has more time to recuperate, so he has a bigger total. So at Sheffield, or he'll keep pushing the world record conceivably. However, to qualify, it's at the World Championships where there's fewer lifters in a flight, quicker turnaround, and he himself is going to handicap himself to hit the 95% and qualify. Right. He's doing it to himself, unfortunately. That's kind of the situation he's in.
And that's what it's like. That's only get more. Like let's say, Devonte hits 1200. What's 95% of 1200? Like,
it's crazy. And you have to do it at Worlds with a quicker turnaround. So you hit 1200 at a place like Sheffield that wants that preps it purely to push that total, but then you have to hit 95% at a competition that is like super quick turnaround, super fast, very strict judging. You become a victim of your own success to an extent.
1140. Could you imagine if he does hit 1200? 1140 is what gets you invited to Sheffield,
and you have to do it at Worlds. I mean, yeah, it's tough.
At that point, they're like, okay, we got to come up with new rules. Maybe for the 120 plus, it's 85.
Or you just bank on those wild card type of invites because they know
exactly right.
I don't know, fellas. I'm telling you right now, I'm super excited. If this is the beginning, if this is the beginning of the 120 plus era rivalry like we have on the women's side with the heavyweights, my God, the future is bright, and you got it's only this is only the beginning here of an absolutely magnificent rivalry. And to your point, Lou, it's on the platform. You guys can be buddy in the DMs, but once that's just like Britt and Sonita, they're their own biggest fans. They're their own biggest supporters. But when it comes to the platform, the rivalry is amazing. And what this can do for our sport, and what this can do, can you imagine when the super heavyweights have an actual rivalry? Because we haven't seen it, guys in their peaks, pushing the world record back and forth, world titles back and forth. You have a bad day, the other guy wins. This is what we need. This is what we've been waiting for. So, fellas, welcome. Welcome to the IPF side. We're happy you're here. I can't wait to see you two both live in person at Rising Tide. I'll be commentating. I know everybody's going to be tuning in August 30th. Only the beginning. And then obviously we'll take it from there. I'll be at Sheffield, and we'll see. Jesus has opportunities to respond, and let's freaking let the rivalry begin. Let the games begin, gentlemen. Thank you for coming on the podcast, both of you. Much appreciated. This isn't going to be the last one. Let's do this again. We'll talk at Rising Tide in person, and freaking let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch,
yes,
gentlemen.
Sir.
Thank you for coming on. God bless. Stay healthy, and we'll be in touch. Everybody listening, please do subscribe. Give us high ratings as per usual. And until next time, 6-pack Lapadat. 6 up, and we are out. Fellas,